In one of our earliest and most popular video blogs, Nick and I filmed a screencast of how to install WordPress 2.8.
As WordPress is now up to version 3.0.1, we've decided to update our previous video and show you the up-to-date installation process.
Much like in our previous video, we will also show you the first two major settings that you'll probably wish to make: setting up permalinks
And changing the name of the directory from WordPress to whatever you like.
So if you're looking to install WordPress on your website for the first time, the first thing I'd recommend doing is having a look at the system requirements at wordpress.org/about/requirements. And like it says, all you need to have is PHP version 4.3, and you'll also need a MySQL database. Now, if you're not sure whether your hosting is compatible, WordPress tell you what to do here, even like making some text available that you can copy and paste an email to your hosting company for support. But if you're confident that you have the correct settings on your server and you have a MySQL database ready, the next thing you want to do is to download WordPress at wordpress.org/download. Simply push the blue button and this will download the zip folder onto your computer. So the domain name that I'm going to use to do this example installation is crearea.co.uk. This is just a domain name that we have kicking about. So I've downloaded the files, like I said, to my desktop. I've unzipped them, and you'll notice that the folder is just simply called WordPress. And I've just copied and pasted that into my local files folder, which is where I'm storing the files locally for my website. I've then set up a site in Dreamweaver to manage my website. So I'm just really using Dreamweaver for the FTP tool that's built into it. And obviously you can use any FTP client like Cyberduck to upload your files to the server. Now to save time, I've simply already uploaded the WordPress folder in its entirety on the remote view, and again I haven't changed the name of the folder from WordPress, I've just kept it as WordPress. Once you've done that, if you go back to your local view, your local file, and open up the WordPress folder, and you're looking for a file called wp-config-sample.php. So this is the file that WordPress needs to connect to your database. So when you set up your MySQL database, you should obviously have the name, user, and password to connect to it. So I'm just going to enter them for the one that I've created, which is just Crearea WP, and I've just set the same username, name, and password, so it's all the same. So I'm just going to paste that there and there. Now, MySQL database is local to my server, so I can simply leave the host name to localhost. If your MySQL database is on an external server, you may have an IP address, so simply paste that in there. You'll also notice if you scroll down, you can enter other settings like the auth key and secure key, where you can put phrases in if you accidentally lock yourself out, and also the table prefix, which is quite important. If you have other items or other WordPress installations on your server, you may wish to change this. So you can just leave it as WP underscore, or you can name it anything you like. So let's just say WP database. Okay. Now once you've entered your settings like I have on this file, simply hit save and close it, and then rename the file from wp-config-sample to just wp-config. So you're simply deleting the last hyphen and sample, so you end up with just wp-config.php. And then you want to upload that single file to the remote view. So that's a new file that we've essentially created. So now that we've uploaded all the files and customized the wp-config file with our database settings, we're ready to install WordPress onto the database. So like I said, I'm using crearea.co.uk and I've installed the files, so I uploaded the files onto /WordPress. So let's simply go to /WordPress. So WordPress has automatically taken me to the installation page. Now, if you had a problem with your wp-config file, it wouldn't bring the screen up, it would let you know that there is an error on your config file. So if you're seeing this page like I am, then it means that your wp-config file is set up successfully. So let's enter the simple information here that we need to install WordPress. So the site title, let's just say Crearea example. Obviously this would be the name of your blog, so put in anything that you like. Then we can enter the username to access WordPress. In previous versions this had to be admin. We can now set this up as anything we choose, so I'll just put James. And it's the same thing with the password now. Previously it would give you a password key, whereas now you can specify your own custom one from the outset. So let's just type a password in. and then obviously enter your email address. The last box at the bottom, obviously leave that ticked if you wish your search engine to be crawled and cached by the major search engines. So let's install WordPress. And that's it. So we've now got the success page. WordPress has been installed, and I can now go and log in to the dashboard by clicking the login button. So let's use James and the password that I specified. As you can see, I've logged into the WordPress dashboard, and if I click on the title in the top left, I'll be taken to the live working version of WordPress on the server. So now that you've got WordPress installed on your website, there's a few settings that you may wish to change almost instantly, which I always change. Now the first one is the fact that I don't like that the WordPress installation is in a folder called WordPress. Let's say, for example, I wanted to rename that to blog. Simply go to settings in the left-hand navigation and click general. And then simply locate the WordPress URL and the site address. As you can see, they're currently set as WordPress, and then just simply change those to whatever you wish to name your WordPress folder. Now, if you're looking to install WordPress on the root layer of your website, we've actually done a separate video blog which explains to you how to do that. So I'm just going to change my folder to blog. I'm going to push save. Now we're going to be given a error 404 page once this loads, and this is quite simply because now that we've changed the settings to /blog, there aren't actually any files in a folder called blog on our remote view. If you remember, they're actually in a folder called WordPress. So if you see the error 404 page like I have, don't worry, you haven't done anything wrong. All you've got to do is just change on the remote view the name of the folder from WordPress to whatever you've renamed it to. So in my example, I've specified I'd like to have it as blog. So I'm just going to the remote view and changing the folder titled WordPress to blog. And you'll obviously need to do this on the local view as well. So now if I delete the string to leave me with the URL career.co.uk/blog/WP login, I'll now be able to log in to the dashboard under blog instead of WordPress. So let's just log back in. You'll see that we're now successfully working in the dashboard under /blog. And if we visit the website at /blog, all the files should have been successfully moved, and we can navigate our way around the website in the directory that we've named. Now the second thing that I always like to do after installing WordPress is to set up the permalinks. And you can do this by again using the left-hand menu and going to settings. So if that's collapsed, just push the arrow and permalinks. Now by default, WordPress will display your blog post pages with database query strings. So once this page decides to load, so as you can see, this is the default permalink structure that WordPress installs, and these are actually database queries. So if you'd rather have the more usable and SEO friendly permalink structure for your blog, simply choose one of the common settings, or you can specify your own in this box, and then scroll down and hit save. So my permalink structure has been updated, and if I view the website now, you'll see that when I navigate around the website, I see a more usable and SEO friendly domain name structure. So that's how to install the latest version of WordPress, rename the folder, and also set up permalinks. Thank you for watching this week's video. Don't forget you can find more of our WordPress videos on our blog or YouTube channel.